Greetings, Hive Scum. It is I, Dr.Drybrush, here with a very quick Rantomunda. Currently in the process of doing some final edits to upcoming battle reports and the Rise of Crawl series. So I'll give you a bit more information on that at the back end of this video. But just went onto the Warhammer community page in between sort of, you know, sitting with children and the new one and feeding it and all that good stuff, and came across this article. So yeah, basically there is a new core rulebook being released for Necromunda. I just kind of quickly wanted to go over the bits that I've picked up. I've seen this whole, it's consolidating all the major rules bit. So Zone Mortalis, Sector Mechanicus, Ash Waste stuff, which is pretty good. I'm in favour of this all being in one place. However, if you've just went out and bought the Ash Waste book, soz. Likewise, if you went out and bought sort of the Book of the Outland, the one with the vehicle rules, so if you've just went and bought that, that's cool. Now you have 2 extra books that you won't need soon. But nah, here we are. So yeah, I'm in favour of it. I'm just a bit sad that I've spent a bunch of money on books now that are just going to be sitting extra, and the resale value will be next to zero because everything will be in one place. But hey ho. So yeah, there's some cool things that I saw. Black Market and Trading Post all in the one place, which is nice, instead of having to download the PDF from the community website and like staple it into the back of the book. Changes to XP, so gangers now earn 1 XP every time they nail someone hard enough to leave them face first in the dirt. The reward is doubled if they send them immediately out of action, and they also earn XP if they help a teammate recover from a serious injury. So that's, to me, that's going to speed up gangs in campaigns quite well. For those of you that have played a couple of campaigns, sometimes it can be a bit of a slog, just to try and spread XP around and kind of level up your gang to be ultra gangers. But the flip side of that is that there's very quickly going to be a series of ultra gangers in everybody's gang. So it might make it a wee bit weird, because the way I think of Necromunda is gangers are all supporting characters for your leaders and champions. They're the main protagonists, and everybody else kind of just plays a part. But now everybody's going to be pretty good. So yeah, but I don't know. I'm not negative about it, but I'm also not like over the moon about it. It's just a wee change of note. So yeah, let me think. Let me know what you guys think about it. Initially, I'm just like, cool, that'll speed up some character progression. But it also means that you're going to have some super duper ultra gangers that are going to get annihilated just as quickly as they normally would, and all that XP and stuff and everything else that comes out goes out the window. Next change is that serious injuries are now much more lethal every roll, whether it's in recovery at the end of a turn or after an especially painful shot to the face. Also now causes a flesh wound, and those flesh wounds mount up fast. On the plus side, a critically injured fighter is much less likely to take a permanent injury if they are stabilised on a visit to the dock after the table. So back end of that, being stabilised after visiting the dock, good times. The flesh injury being tacked on to the serious injury, it kind of makes sense. Obviously the way, if you've watched the channel, you know that I roll the multiple injury dice and apply all of the things. So yeah, so I'll take a wee bit of pondering on my end of things, but if they've cleared everything up into the rules, then it all makes a bit more sense. Just like, right, cool, that's how we do it now. But it also means that the likes of in the recovery phase, say you've got a fighter that's took 1 flesh wound and then a serious injury, and they're usually toughness 3, they're reduced to toughness 2, and then you roll the recovery phase and they stay down with another serious injury, they're just bleeding out. So it's making the game a lot more lethal. It's making the game a lot quicker to play, which is good, which is nice. I like quick games. But yeah, people are going to die very, 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 very quickly in this edition. The secondary skills thing here, so secondary skill to secondary. The secondary skill table was for a long time the preserve of gamblers and people who didn't properly read the rules. I can be accused of being one of these people, but hey ho. But there's meaningful use for your guys' secondary skill access. You can pick the skill you want for just 12 XP. Again, like I was saying earlier on, leaders and champions kind of being the protagonists of Necromunda. That's pretty cool. Opens up some interesting builds as well. So let me know if you guys have got any plans with these new rules coming into effect and how you're going to change your leaders and champions and whatnot, and then all the XP you're going to be gathering from mashing everybody to bits, causing serious injuries and gaining XP, and then charging into combat, serious injury, coup de grace, gaining 2 or whatever it is XP. This will add up pretty quick. If you go on a bit of a rampage, say with a Goliath Stimmer, you could be starting to access that kind of secondary skill set fairly quickly, probably compared to other gangs as well. But let me know what your initial thoughts are. I like this bit. The impressive scars and bitter scars and I don't like you are coming back. There's a new lasting injury table. It comes with a lot more flavour, or more accurately, there is a much older lasting injury table which harks back to the 1995 edition of the game, allowing your fighters to collect scars, rivalries and old battle wounds, as well as all the regular dismemberments and lessons learned. That's pretty cool. I'm all for more flavour and such. If you watch the channel, you know I like narrative things and storytelling, so that's pretty cool. Hit penalties. So certain combat activities have been made a little bit harder to do. It's one thing to target someone with a frag grenade launcher, but it's a lot harder to aim at a point in the field. So now that gets a -2 penalty to hit. Likewise, charging someone you can't see puts you at a disadvantage with -1 to hit. I'm kind of neutral on that. The charging someone you can't see, I get the -1 to hit. That sort of makes sense to me. But I feel like it would probably be, well, in my head it makes more sense if you're in the Underhive and you are the ganger roaming about looking to stab people in the face on torso and legs and knees and toes and such, and you just charge round a corner. I feel like it should be not necessarily a -1 to hit, but maybe like your charge rolls the D3 -1, so it makes your charge less likely because you're not really sure the person's there, instead of you're not really sure the person's there but they're definitely there, but somehow you're surprised even though you initiated the charge, so you're a bit less good at fighting them. But that's just my kind of initial thoughts. The joys of Rantomunda. All of this is one stream of subconscious drivel. The -2 to hit penalty for shooting frag grenades at a point in the field. Let me know what you guys think of that. It doesn't. Yeah. I mean, I get what they're doing and why they're doing it, so that's fine. But again, if you've ever been in a situation where you've had to engage with somebody, it's a lot easier to, just be like, there's a thing over there. then a moving target, stationary stuff is good, moving bad. But yeah, so overall they're doing this as a sort of quality of life changes for the rulebook. So they're finishing off by saying this is an essential tome for any player, and you'll now really only need to bring this book and your chosen gang's special rules to any dust up within the Underhive or without. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so I think they'll release this, and then probably the next part of the Cinderite Burning series, the Aranthian Succession, or whatever it is. But yeah, so have a wee look at the article. I'll link it in the description of the video. Have a wee go over it, see what you think. It'll be cool that some of the updates, but as ever, I'll reserve my entire judgment for once I can actually read the thing and see what it's like. But as we end GW, it's always going to move forward. It's always going to change, and they're in the business of selling products, not necessarily making really good game systems. So hopefully they update all this and they're like, cool, we'll leave that be for a bit. Yeah. So let me think about it and I'll get back to you, and you guys tell me what your initial thoughts are in the comments below. And like I said at the start of the video, the new series is coming out, The Rise of Crawl, which follows a Goliath gang kind of led by the champion Stimmer Crawl through various parts of the Underhive on a bit of a rampage. So it's kind of a mini series, so it's set sort of like the gang war, not the gang war. You know the supplement, which the name escapes me. It was all the kind of smaller gang stuff. That's a terrible description. If somebody knows what I'm talking about, put it in the comments. Hey, so it was like a supplement that came out in a White Dwarf or something like that ages and ages and ages ago, and it's really difficult to find. But essentially, it was beneath, all the gangs were beneath the notice of the leaders. So there's no leaders in this campaign. It's all champions, gangers, specialists. So I've capped it at 700 credits for each of the gangs. But the storyline will follow a group of Goliaths led by the mighty Crawl as they go on a bit of a rampage. So the first game will be up soon, and that will be Goliath versus House Escher. And there'll be a little preview of game 2 at the back end of that video. So while you're waiting for that, go over and read this article, link in the description. Let me know what you think. Will you be purchasing the new rulebook, or are you happy having several different rulebooks? So yeah, I mean, that's also a point. You don't really need to go and buy this, but let's face it, we all probably will. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one.